first panelist is the wonderful Siddhartha Mukherjee. And he has come out with a theory, not a theory, an analysis that don't just look at who's got it, who's infected, who's not. It's not like everybody that's infected is the same. That everybody has a different viral load. It's for many illnesses. So let's just, before I ask him to join us, let's just look at what exactly, in simple layman's term, what a viral load means. The viral load is what matters. Not all COVID-19 infected people are exactly the same. It's not a binary thing. You've got it or you don't have it. It's not like that. Let's take, for example, 3 coronavirus patients. One with a low viral load, one with a moderate, and one with a high. Now, the low one will have few symptoms, could even be asymptomatic, which is worrying because it can still be infectious. So that's the low viral load, and even after that you get better fast and you can go back into society because you have some immunity. The moderate level of viral load is where there are clear symptoms, which means you get fever, you have a cough, and you have tiredness. These are 3 most common features. And that needs to be treated by under doctor's supervision, not necessarily go to the hospital. But of course, if you get a severe viral load, you've got a bad attack, what we say in layman's term, then you've got very, very serious symptoms. And at some point, you may need respiratory care. It may not be a ventilator, that's an extreme, but some kind of breathing help in various ways. So these are the 3. So it's not you got it or you don't have it. It's how much you've got it and how badly or how little you've got it. So let me welcome the outstanding Siddhartha Mukherjee. The big new factor, Siddhartha, that you have brought into focus is that the load of the virus in you, the viral load you call it, is crucial in determining how sick you will get. If you have a huge load, that means you have a severe amount of coronavirus in you. Perhaps because you've been exposed to it more, maybe to the same person in the family or anywhere many, many, many times. And with a high viral load, you could get much sicker. On the other hand, a little bit of exposure means you could get low level of viral load, which means you could get mild sickness, you could recover quickly. So basically, am I being oversimplistic that the amount of virus coming into you is important? Is that right?
That is correct. Now we don't know this for COVID. We know this for most other viruses, including SARS, which is a very close cousin of COVID. So let me be very clear. No one's done this experiment for this particular virus, but most viruses behave in this way. Now, what I should also mention is that, and it's also described in the article, that it's the load of the virus and it's your host immune system. It's a combination. So it's really, as I said, it's like a battle. And you can think of the virus, imagine the virus as radiation, or imagine the virus as a poison. The amount of poison or the amount of radiation determines how sick you get from exposure. And it's very similar to viruses. The only difference in this case, of course, is that your body is also is part of the equation. That part of the equation we don't know yet. We all only know that elderly people and people who have immune systems that are already depressed have a more severe likelihood of dying from this virus. But we also are getting to understand that the amount of virus, the dose, is one crucial element of this response, although we don't have firm data yet for this particular virus. We do have it for many other viruses. And so one of the crucial things is to reduce the dose. And the way to reduce the dose, as I said already, there are many ways to reduce the dose. But I encourage my patients or people who are thinking about this in public health, imagine the virus, as the size of a football. And imagine that there are hundreds, floating in the air. The amount of times that you will, and imagine that every time you hit a football, you get knocked back down a little bit. If you hit 1 or 2, you will survive, you will bounce back. But if there are thousands coming at you, then of course you will fall down. And that's the situation with the immune system. The virus, is just a microscopic version it doesn't float in free air, so don't make that mistake. This is just a conceptual experiment. The virus floats in respiratory droplets, in cough droplets. And your job is to reduce the exposure to these cough droplets or to the out breathing of people who are breathing out while they're actively shedding the virus.
Right, right.